Take a breath. Feel your heart. You are sovereign. You are love. You are peace. And you are free. Today is Tarot Tuesday. And just in case you are afraid of tarot, I use tarot for shadow work, and if you've ever heard of shadow work is just facing the parts of us that we haven't acknowledged, we haven't loved, and we've kind of exiled and pushed away. And when we do that, we end up denying, avoiding, or projecting those parts onto other people. So it's in our best interest to own them, take them back, and take power over them. And tarot can help you to do that. So, but some of the cards that people are most afraid of in tarot are, I really like this deck because it helps you to face your fears, I think. The Light Seers Tarot. It gives you like a light side, a shadow side, and then a nice affirmation, an explanation and an affirmation. And I think it just helps you to be able to look at all these parts of yourself and reframe them in a way that's easier to digest. And it has some really nice pictures. They're easy to read. I'm not selling this deck. I just really like it. So some of the cards that people are most afraid of are the Devil. I did a whole video on the Devil and the positive sides of the Devil because I thought it was really interesting to explore that. The Devil is addictions, attachments, and illusions. And sometimes the Devil is kind of what pushes us forward. It's that contrast, what we don't want. So it helps us to create what we do want and bring into the world what we do want. The Moon card is the unknown, fear, confusion, and hidden truths. And a lot of us are afraid of the unknown, but sometimes the unknown, it's not bad. Like actually, when we're really living the way we need to start living, we are stepping into the unknown with trust, with love, and with faith, because we know all parts of ourselves, so we know that there's nothing to fear. Death, the Death card, and in this deck they call it death and rebirth. All endings are new beginnings. So death can be resistance to endings, but it can also be transformation. And two of my least favorite cards in the deck are the Tower and the Three of Swords. I got this card right before I realized I needed to get a divorce. And, but before I knew that, I saw this card in the deck. They ask you in the deck to like, look at all the cards and what is the card that you really don't like the most? And what is the card that you love the most or are most drawn to? And that is telling of the parts of you that you are trying to push away and avoid, and the parts of you that you're more comfortable and gravitate towards. And I got this one for the part that I didn't like the most. And I got the new beginnings for the Ace of Cups for the one that I was most drawn to. And it turns out that I was getting a divorce and starting a new relationship. So I wouldn't have started this new relationship that is more authentic, more spiritual, more playful, more loving, more connected. I would not have found that if I hadn't let go of my old relationship, which was I got the Tower too. Then the Tower is when something comes down, that some sort of structure comes down, that needs to come down in order to rebuild. So that marriage needed to come down so I could rebuild more of a connection, an emotional connection, and an intimacy that was more authentic to me, which was what I wanted. And also, it turns out what my new partner wanted. So we don't, some of these parts need love, but being afraid of them isn't really helping us. So let's own them. Let's take them back and learn to love them and care for them. Okay, so I'm going to integrate these back into the deck, and we will do a tarot card draw so we can see what energies we might be working with today. And we can ask ourselves, what part of me needs to be faced with compassion today? What part of me is coming up today and asking for love? And then we can do a little affirmation. I meet all parts of me with love. And I think I might start out with the Carolyn Mace archetype cards. I also like to do the archetypes because I think they're also a way of getting at the shadow. And they look at that's kind of Jungian. Carl Jung talked about different archetypes. They're basically like overarching stories that we're working with. And I'm finding that a lot of us are going through awakenings, where we kind of realize what is illusion, what is false, what did we learn like when we entered this world and that was not right. What did we learn, and what is actually illusion and what we can let go of. So what old stories we're carrying that no longer serve us, and then we can create a new story. And when my awakening happened, my big awakening, we can have little awakenings, and then like some bigger ones. When I realized that I had been pushing down my loneliness and sadness, which was probably that Three of Swords card. Inside, I was really dying of like this heartache, just feeling lonely and sad and unloved and unappreciated. And I was trying to deny that part of me. And then when it really came up and I had to face it, it meant that I had to let go of my marriage. And I'm a marriage and family therapist, so I had devoted my whole life to having a good marriage and a good family relationships. And to find out that after all that work that I put into it, I had to let it go. And like, that was a really big awakening. But it helped me to really find what I was looking for. Okay, so let's do, maybe we will do this first because I have it in my hand, and no, I like to do that second. So we'll do this, we'll do the archetypes first. These are the archetype cards by Carolyn Mace, and that's MYSS. Oh, we got the Femme Fatale. That highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. Ooh, that is so good, right? Right now, especially because we're talking a lot about the feminine energy and why the masculine fears the feminine energy, that sexual power, that erotic energy. They don't have control when they're faced with that, or they feel like they don't have control when they're faced with that. And that scares them, and they don't like that. Men, I'm talking about. And I'm talking in a very big generalization, because that's not true about all men. And so this is the light attributes. Open your heart when dependency is rejected. So we also have learned to be dependent as females, and that we are dependent on men. Some of that is true. Like some of that is, there are some strong power dynamics that create that sense in the world. But the reality of it is that it's not true. And we can experience something different. I had a very powerful feminine role model in my life. My two very powerful female role models. My grandmother, whose husband committed suicide, and she had to raise 4 children by herself. She did have her parents, I think, helped her a little bit, but she did a lot by herself. She took a full-time job, and she supported her children. And then she helped other people in the family. And then my mother was also a very strong female figure. So I feel like I had some really good role models that helped me to not feel so dependent on men and recognize that I could depend on myself. The shadow attributes are inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money, and power. And I think, you know, we all do, like we do learn as women to use our sensuality to control men, because it's one of the few things that we have sometimes in the way that things were set up. But it's not, it doesn't feel good to do that. It does feel good to reclaim that sexual energy as our own. So that might be something that you might want to do. Figure out how you can reclaim your own sexual energy. And open your heart to all the ways of experiencing love. And that money and power are illusion. Real power comes from inside of you, and abundance is everywhere. And comes from the feeling that you're worthy. So actually, let's just do that one, because that had a lot in that one card. So I think we'll just focus on that today, the femme fatale. And reclaiming that part of ourselves, the erotic energy, our erotic energy, opening our heart, realizing that we are not dependent on anyone, but we can depend on ourselves and our own inner sovereignty. And it's about not abandoning yourself or trying to take care of other people's needs. One other thing that we do as women is we try to take care of our partner's needs and feelings, mostly their feelings. Thinking that they can't do it themselves, and partly because we probably at some point in our history feared the anger of men, and so we learned to appease them so they didn't take their anger out at us. And some of that was sexual. We learned that in order to not have an angry man, we needed to give up sex. So these are all things that are part of our history and part of our story. And wherever you are in your life right now has been informed by that past. So we all struggle with sexuality, sexual energy, and issues of dependency and power. So how can we reclaim those parts of ourselves? Sexuality, sensuality is just it's just life force energy. And we can feel it when we feel the power of our bodies, when we feel the beauty of our bodies, the fluidity of our bodies, the movement of our bodies. So taking that back to its core essence and loving that. And we got the Six of Pentacles, which is giving and receiving, the balance of giving and receiving. Reciprocity. And I was talking with my daughter the other day about, she called it the 2025 relationship. And I'm hearing this more and more from people too. And this is actually what I'm creating in my own new relationship. It is this friendship first. Like you develop this really nice connection in friendship. And the way my daughter described it is, I could tell this person anything. Like they're my friend. I don't have to feel uptight and like I can't share things with them. Or I have to worry about what I say. No, you're received and and there's this give and take between you. I can share with you and you can share with me. I can do things for you and you can do things for me. As somebody who learned to take care of others, that was not there. And there was this sense of expectation that I was going to take care of you, but I didn't have my own needs. And that's not realistic for anyone. So if you have that kind of idea about anybody, that's an illusion. There is nobody out there that doesn't need to be cared for or that doesn't need what you need. We all have needs and feelings. Your therapist has needs and feelings. Okay, let's see what else we get from the Light Seers Tarot. This is making me a little tired. It feels a little heavy today. I usually find it more light and uplifting. But today I'm finding it a little heavy. Let's see. The other energies we got with the Five of Swords, which might be that heavy energy that I'm feeling. The King of Pentacles. The Two of Wands. And the Four of Pentacles. So let's see, what is the story that these cards are trying to tell us? And what parts of us need to be acknowledged and loved? Acknowledged, validated, and loved. That's my model of taking care of emotions. Acknowledge it where you're feeling it in your body. Let it know you feel it and you see it and you hear it. And then validate it. Of course you feel that way given your life experiences. And then care for it. What do you need right now? Maybe it just needs space. Maybe it just needs love. Okay, so the Five of Swords. I've been getting this one a lot. The Five of Swords. This one has come up a lot. It seems like we're facing this as a society. So it is, yes, it's conflict. Unfair advantage. Yeah, it's that power imbalance. The masculine ideals dominating, whereas the feminine way of being, the spirit, more spirit-led, is, I'm going to talk about this on, I think, Theoretical Thursday or Not So Wacky Wednesday. Okay. Experiencing loss, the need to build your skills, your confidence, hollow victories. The lessons move me ahead always. That's the affirmation. You may have experienced an unexpected loss that has left you a little bit sore. Sometimes life isn't fair, and these inequities can drain our energy for much longer. That's what I'm feeling, this energy drain. For much longer than they need to. Often it's the fear of failure that does most of the draining. If you're feeling, and I have been wrestling with this energy, outsmarted or outjousted, remember that one chapter doesn't define you. Wins and losses are both a part of the human experience. And the keys to self-improvement lie dormant inside the difficulties. The obstacle is often the way. It's guiding me towards my spirit. So when people want to play games with you and try to control you, you can recognize that that's just a human game. It's an illusion. And talk to your spirit. Find out what's going on with your spirit. Now, this has helped me to turn to my spirit. And my spirit is like, don't worry about that. Don't give that any energy. That's going to all work out. You do you. You live in love and strength and peace and alignment, and everything will work out the way that you want it to in your highest best. Boost your consciousness, upgrade your skills, and build on this experience. And I also learned to take control, take my power back. Like, I have power. What do I want? In Shadow, we learn that winning isn't everything, especially when deceit is part of the strategy. The obsessive desire to win can have us stopping at nothing to feel victorious, and that's the ego. And in the long run, we risk everything we've built along the way. You may find yourself a few steps backwards after winning if you are not bringing your integrity to the games. Okay, so you want to stay in alignment. And not try to get down there and play these games with other people. It's going to just rob you of your energy and make you feel bad. So you want to feel strong, you want to feel confident, you want to feel expansive. And I'm going to talk about this on Not So Wacky Wednesday, which is tomorrow. So Not So Wacky Wednesday is about Everything will feel upside down when you start to be spirit-led instead of ego-led, but that is the new way of being, not doing. It's more of a feminine receptive energy, but it is the masculine and the feminine united and integrated, that inner union. It's both. So them learning to work together as opposed to ego just like driving us, which is how we have lived. So it's called Not So Wacky Wednesday because it's going to feel upside down and very different way of being, but it's actually more authentic and more aligned and going to bring us more peace. Okay, so we had the Five of Swords. Now we have the King of Pentacles. That is a very good card. So first you can look at it and see what it says to you. Own this part of yourself. What are the feelings that you get? What do you notice in this card? And there's a wolf. Overflowing material abundance that's coming from within. Patience and determination. You don't have to live in scarcity. You don't have to live with that scarcity mindset. Recognize your own abundance. I'm also struggling with this, working with this. I've been feeling the scarcity mindset, but I'm like asking for help with this. Patience and determination. A confident and warm leader. Yeah, you can feel the warmth of this card. It feels like maybe he's sitting in front of a fire. Providing for others, comfort and security, personal growth, goals reached, prosperity, and success. I dream my endless potential into existence with steady desire and effort. Exuding warmth, the King of Pentacles welcomes you into his study for a heartfelt conversation about life. He's worked his fields, met his soulmate. Wow, that's so cool. Found wealth, and now he looks out over his dream, manifested as he offers you one of the tarot's most potent messages of forthcoming abundance and prosperity. The most important thing to be done is to enjoy it all. Be in gratitude. Sweet seer. Enjoy every lesson, challenge, failure, and success. He reminds you to get clear on where you want to be, to plan and envision. What is it that moves you forward? There is manifesting power in the longing and so much joyful expansion as you bring your greatest potential into existence. Happiness happens when you do better than the last time, and in the pursuit of personal growth, allow yourself the extravagance of desire. The rest is a consequence of faith. Steady habits and the courage to cultivate enormous dreams. Dream your biggest light to life. I dream my endless potential into existence with steady desire and effort. And then we have the Two of Wands. So I'm going to hold that up again for you to kind of look at and see what you get out of it. So there's always a personal message there for you. I'm going to read you these, but you have to figure out what resonates for you. So what do you see? Planning your future. So that's envisioning it. Making progress, activation, possibilities. The choice between your comfort zone and new adventures. Okay, so I got this message. This is like the second time I got this message today. It's like, okay, you know that you need to be doing something different now. You want to stay in that comfort zone, but you know you need to step out of it. And I also keep getting the Tower, which is telling me that if I don't move forward, things are gonna just collapse. And I've already been feeling those little pinches, those little uncomfortable moments where it's like, this is ending, you better let it go. You asked for this. So I get that. It's scary. It's scary to start something new. But the old is moving under our feet right now. So let's grasp onto what is real for us, what is in our highest alignment or highest good. How can we align with ourselves more in our spirits? Like, what feeds our soul? What's calling to us? You need to make a choice to really do that thing you want to do or not. You can dream it and envision it, or you can begin to live it. Planning and imagining can have us feeling like observers of a dream, and our action is the only way to bring that dream to life. But it is that play between the masculine and the feminine. It's that dreaming and opening a space for it, clearing out the old, and then taking that inspired action is more of the masculine. So it's that flow back and forth. It's time to choose between the wand that's cozily rooted in the place you already know, or the one that leans into exciting new possibilities. Take a deep breath, because self-initiated change can be scary. The only way to take strides toward your goal is to make your move. Learn that thing, call that contact, make that decision. Non-action won't get you there and will likely have you feeling the angst of dreaming the dream instead of walking the talk. Use the fire energy of the wands to initiate your shift. The world is filled with opportunities for adventure, and I welcome them into my life with planned action. See the world in front of her, and she's taken that wand and she's looking out there. So I am moving from, I've been doing this for a while, but I gotta let go of this, and it's really scaring the hell out of me because it's more it seems like more stability, right? I'm moving from therapist, where I can get paid by insurance, to coach, where there is no insurance underneath me. There's no net. So, but everything in me is saying, you need to do this. You need to step out and do it. And that's really, really scary. But it's also in alignment with me. Like what the therapist in me felt very heavy and burdened by my responsibility. It didn't feel right to me. The coach me feels great. Feels like this is what I need. I need this. This is more aligned with my soul and my spirit and my creativity and my power and my expansiveness. So I have to do it, and we'll see what happens. And I'm taking steps towards it. And I just keep taking those steps and planning and taking the steps. But it's a different way of being than it used to be, where I could just like, okay, I'm going to just do it. But that didn't work for me. Like I did this. Also, I failed before. I've done this many times. I got like all these different websites. I invested in all these different websites for my business and nothing happened. And so I have to have the courage to try this again when I've failed already a few times. That's really scary. But my spirit is telling me this is the right time. Just take it one step at a time. Don't go starting to do everything all at once like you did before. This is going to be a different way of doing it. So just take that inspired action when it comes. But it's hard to do that when that's not the way that you've done things your whole life. And so I keep trying to do it the old way, and then I get pushed back again. And it's like, nope, we're not doing that. That's not going to work this time. Okay, so the last one we got was the Four of Pentacles. So let's look at that one. Four of Pentacles. Stability, saving, success, generosity, accepting your worth, being in flow with the universe, feelings of gratitude, helping others in times of need. Okay, I like this one because I've heard different versions of this. See how she's holding her purse? And so it feels like she's holding on to things, But the light seer side of this, the shadow side, is hoarding and coveting and lack mentality, scarcity mentality, placing too much value on money, and a needing to be more charitable. But the light seer side is flow. It's that flow, that reciprocity, that giving and receiving, that balance. You're building your life coin by coin, step by step. You've reached a moment of stability. Getting here signifies an interval when you can rest, reevaluate, and take stock. Likely, you are being reminded to double-check those foundations and save some money for a rainy day. How do you feel about your finances? Continue toward your goal without over-focusing on your possessions. And let go, it's like that non-attachment, and let go of any jealousy derived from another person's position in life. Yeah, that was coming up for me too. How come that person found their thing? And well, everybody listens to them. They like have so much credibility. Why doesn't anybody listen to me? Like, when am I going to be listened to? When am I going to be valued? That kind of feeling that's coming up in me. We all have that, right? That's something we all have. And then I just keep hearing, stay in your lane. You do you. It's going to come one step at a time. Just let it go, okay? Trust. Negative feelings around abundance will breed energy blockages big enough to hold back even the most magical of trajectories. The tighter you try to hold on to things, the more you block yourself from stepping into the flow of wealth and happiness. If a scarcity mindset is haunting your actions, ask yourself if you are looking down on others based on how much money they have or don't have. Actively save and give in the world and focus on feeling excited and expansive. I live an abundant life and I have more than I need. I live an abundant life and I have more than I need. Okay. So I think I'm going to just pull maybe one or two from the Wisdom of the Oracle, because I haven't done this one in a while and I really like this one. This one feels fun and light to me. And I like fun and light. I've carried a lot of heaviness as a therapist, a lot of heaviness, a lot of sadness. And I'm looking forward to lifting out of that into creativity, expansion, freedom, joy, by empowering others. So the big difference that I see in coaching is you're empowering others and showing them that they have the answers inside of them. And therapists do more of that themselves. I felt as a therapist, I'm going to just speak for myself, there's a lot of great therapists out there that can have more of like a coach idea or mindset. For me, I needed to just let it go. I had a hard time with that. But there are a lot of great therapists out there that already embody this. So I'm only speaking for myself here. I carried a lot of weight, and that started out in my family. Like I was supposed to be responsible for my siblings. I was the oldest. That happened to my mom too. Because my grandmother had to go to work and she had to support her family herself. She had 4 kids. My mom was the oldest, so she was supposed to take care of her siblings, and she passed that down on to me too, although I didn't have as many responsibilities as she did because my dad was in the picture. I still did get that feeling that I needed to take care of my siblings. And when they were experiencing mental health issues, I felt responsible for them and took on a lot of that weight of, oh my God, like if I don't, and we also had the suicide in the family. So if I don't do something, if I don't take care of my sister, I have 2 sisters, then they might get depressed and they might kill themselves. Like that's how it felt for me. Like it was that strong of a sense of, if I don't do something, if I don't save them, if I don't take care of them. So I abandoned and sacrificed myself. So that is such a pattern in me that is so damaging and toxic, and it hurt me so bad that I just want to let go of that. I don't want to feel that way anymore. I want to feel like people have the power in themselves And that makes me feel like I can also have needs, and I can also, not that I need to get them from my people that I coach, but that I get to be a person too that also needs the same things that everyone else needs: love, care, someone to talk to, someone to listen to, somebody to understand me. And we got the happy card. And also, like, I'm on the same hierarchy with you. I'm not up and you're not down. Like, you're not needing. We're on the same hierarchy. Like, I don't have to be better than I actually am. I don't have to be bigger than I actually am. I can just be me. And I'm good enough just being me. That means a lot to me. Happy. That's card number 26, which is 6 plus 2 is 8. That's an 8. If you're into numerology. So I would say we are creating a new way of being, which is happy. We're following our joy. Joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment. Oh, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow in the Not So Wacky Wednesday, so stay tuned for that, because we're just going to extend this. A feeling that all is well. Not today, but tomorrow. Your desires are effortlessly fulfilled now. Find joy in the present moment, whatever is happening. Be grateful and be satisfied with things as they are. You're free from the shackles of longing. This is what keeps us in that abundant place. Then we're living in that abundant place. We are being able to experience the liberation, freedom that comes from actually being happy moment to moment. For you have chosen happiness over yearning for it. Now is the time for feeling joy for the sake of joy and experiencing contentment. None of this is because of something outside yourself. Your happiness is a result of your life being at one with Spirit's plan for your life. All is well. The tide is in for now. Enjoy playfully splashing in it. So I think that's a great way to end. And please stay tuned for tomorrow's Not So Wacky Wednesday, where you learn how to move from a ego-led life to a spirit-led life. Or we learn together, because I'm learning with you and we are on the same level. I'm not above you. I am a human being and spirit trying to navigate this crazy fucking world together. I love you. Be happy, follow your bliss, but don't forget, don't be afraid to look at your demons. It's in facing them that we take our power back.